Hey.
Okay, now I
Haha.
can see me, but I can't see. So,
There you
oh,
are.
there you are.
There you are. I
Jeez
see ya.
Louise, man. I don't know why it's not working.
Yeah. I love it.
I don't remember why the hell we met.
Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world. Hey guys, Phil here. Just once again, an apology for the quality of this audio. It's a bit rough, only because again, I was having some trouble with my mics, but I am back, as you can hear, and I will make sure that next week's recording is much better quality. Again, we thank you for joining us. Your comments are always appreciated. We love hearing from you guys. And let's get on with the show.
All right, we are recording. Are we recording? Yes, we are recording.
Awesome.
Yay! So today on This Commerce Life, we've got something a little bit different. Kenny is back as always, but we have a special guest with us today. We have Lia Ollo, whom I love a lot. She is, I don't know, all of 16 years old, maybe. Right, Kenny? Like she maybe 16,
I was gonna
maybe
say she's
14.
barely 20. That's what I'm thinking too. I thought at first I was thinking that must be Phil's daughter.
Yeah. But she's this super talented lady. I knew her from my time at Hubba. But she's a super bright young lady who has some tremendous experience behind her. I'm gonna butcher it, but I'll try it anyway. So she's got buying experience from David's Tea in her background, and one of the things that we wanted to do with her today that she's got some experience with is talking about point of sale systems and things like that. I'm going to stop there because I am going to screw up the rest of it. Lia, do you want to just tell the audience who you are and all that stuff?
Yeah, so I'm Lia, and I'm actually 25 and not 16, but I wish I was. And my experience is mostly a sales background experience, but I did come, dealing with HR a little bit, and then my time at David's Tea, I was a buyer for non-resellable goods. So that was really exciting. And then I sort of transitioned into the tech industry, and I work for a great company called Lightspeed, and they sell point of sale solutions that compete with a whole bunch of other point of sale solutions like Vend and Shopify and so on. And they sell to small, medium-sized businesses, which was really relevant when I was at Hubba. So working at Hubba for a bit, that's how I know Phil. And on there, I was doing a little bit more data work, and now I'm going to be moving to Montreal in a couple of days, working at a great company called Aptos, and they sell a suite of products, including a point of sale solution for enterprise retail systems or channels.
So Kenny, can you believe this? She's 25. Like,
Wow, she's half my age.
But all this experience,
Buddy,
right?
I've got a daughter only 3 years younger.
Yeah.
Jesus, seriously, man. We need to get old people on this show. Wow.
But I love it. I mean, so during my time at Hubba, I got to know Lia, and she's just kind of super bright, super smart. And I asked her to come on because I think one of the things that small medium guys, I get this a lot at church, right, is this whole idea of, the most common thing I hear is like, I've got this really old point of sale system. I've got like really old, whether it's Intuit or one of these guys that's just really old and I don't know what to do. Like my point of sale is so valuable to me and I don't know how to transition away. And then inevitably you get into, well, who's good, who's not. And it's a very, for small medium businesses, so risky, right? Because everything flows through there. All your data gets housed. If you pick the wrong guy, it could set you back kind of 4 months, 5 months till you figure out, what do I do from here, right? So what I thought we'd do is, pick your brain, Leah. If you feel like it, what we'd love to do is maybe just like there's kind of a bunch of guys right now, particularly new tech that's out there, guys like Vend and Square, Lightspeed. Lightspeed's making a serious name for themselves. I came back from Global Pet and everyone's talking about Lightspeed. Can you kind of go through these a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So Lightspeed is making a name for themselves. I mean, I think the first thing that we should look at before getting into point of sale solution is that when a point of sale solution was created 10, 15, 20 years ago, historically it was just a sales transaction with a date. And now customers and retailers are changing in the way that they shop and their habits. With the internet coming out, that's a really big factor. A lot of people are looking for a unified solution. And so one of the benefits that Lightspeed has is that they offer that seamless integration between e-com and retail solutions. They have that omni-channel solution. It's really customizable, but if you're not so techy, they offer templates. So it works for those who want to have a nicer landing page, or those who just need some assistance and just want to get their products online and have that seamless integration. So there are a few competitors out there that are really, really strong, similar to Lightspeed. Vend is one of them. They're really, really, really good, and probably Lightspeed's top competitor. There are a few small nuances. They don't have an e-com, so you are forced to use Shopify, which can add on added expenses to small, medium-sized guys. If you're, and it also, it's difficult for retailers because you're not talking to just one person anymore. Now you're dealing with Shopify, you're dealing with Vend, and it can get really time consuming if you do have any issues.
Can I ask you, so that's probably a good place, because I think a lot of people say point of sale and they don't, to them, it's all kind of, I think to some people it's like the Casio cash register with a tray opening. But it's actually a lot more than that, right? So maybe before we continue, do you want to maybe start at the cash register and back up so people understand?
So that is what a point of sale used to be. It was just a cash register. People would, go to the cash and they would get a receipt, and that would be how stores captured their sales. Point of sale solutions now, I think the biggest question that people get confused about is, what is a point of sale solution? A lot of them confuse it with merchant services, which are your credit card systems. Similar to what Square was before they had a point of sale solution, those are two separate industries. Point of sale solutions, as we know it today, is something that is going to manage your inventory. So it's going to keep track of your sales. It's going to have some type of CRM potentially that'll keep track of your customers. It'll integrate with loyalty programs. It'll, really handle your inventory from A to Z in depth, how in depth you can go inventory and sizes and colors and so on and so forth. It will offer that seamless integration with, the internet and omni-channel and their online stores. So it's become this, pivotal piece for retailers. Like, they cannot function without a point of sale solution anymore. Yeah. It's not just, let me ring this up at the cash. It's way more in depth than that. It's reports and analytics and data and so much more.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny and I talk about this a lot, right? Like Kenny and I are kind of like you, Leah. We're into the data. We love, tracking sales data, all that kind of stuff. But I think that's one of those things. Like, if you're a small medium business, the systems that Leah's talking about now are great ways to be able to do analytics, right? Like things that, before would be only a big retailer, kind of exercise of like, how much are you selling? Where are you selling it? Who are you selling it to? And being able to integrate all that stuff with some of these systems, you're actually able to do, get to the analytics, or you're able, I guess selfishly, we want you to do this, so you'll call Kenny and I so we can help you with your data. So.
Well, we gotta have to have some purpose.
Yeah.
I can't do any of the front end stuff you guys are talking about. So I gotta have something to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry, Kenny.
So the type of stuff you're talking about, is it mostly for traditional retail, for lack of a better, does this apply to the service industries as well? So like I own a coffee bar. Is this something that I would use in the coffee bar in place of the system I'm using now? Or is this more focused to normal retail, for lack of a better word?
So they can work hand in hand. It's for service industries, it could be a little bit more, there's challenges there that retailers don't experience, split bills and takeout, and food management is a lot more difficult than physical inventory that you buy
Right.
and sell, and then table and so on. So if you're a standard cafe and you're just kind of buying muffins from one place and reselling it, it might be really easy to manage your inventory. But if you have to start doing fractions and talk about, how much flour does it really cost per muffin and calculate that, I mean, you might want to look into something a little bit more in depth that can offer those types of services for you.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And sorry, so I interrupted you because you were talking about Vend. Yeah.
So yeah, that's just so there's a whole bunch of point of sale solutions that are out there now, and how they differ generally are small little things, little nuances, but they make a really big difference when you're dealing with retailers. So an example that I gave with Vend is they don't have e-com, so you are forced to use Shopify. They can't really go more than one level deep when you're talking about categories and inventory, so it's really hard to get granular reports from it. A company like Lightspeed, the reason that I think that they're doing so well is that they've really understood their customers and what the customers want. They have everything from service modules, work orders, they support multi-store, they have their own omni-channel, it's a flexible platform. You can, they're on the cloud. And so they have strong analytics. Whereas when you're looking at companies like Shopkeep or Revel, Shopkeep is more micro merchants. It's kind of like how Square started off. They're for the smaller people, but once you grow, they're really easy to use and to integrate with a bunch of other things. But once you start to grow, they can't really handle the inventory and the support that you need. Revel, one of the best things Revel does is that they do have fractional quantities that Lightspeed doesn't have. That's a disadvantage to Lightspeed. But I don't think that the customer that they're going for cares for fractional quantities, whereas Revel will capture all those people who do. And they can handle things like grocery stores and dispensary stores, which are probably their number one clientele, whereas Lightspeed can't handle something like that, and Vend wouldn't be able to handle something like that as well as Revel. What's great about Square is that they were a merchant service first. So for small, medium-sized businesses that don't want to deal with big banks and big fees and all of that, they can work with Square as their merchant service and have that integrated into their point of sale solution. But I mean, then you're also locked into that processing, and not everybody wants to deal with Square as a merchant service, but might just like their point of sale solutions.
Got it.
So,
I actually didn't know that. I didn't know they did that. That's
No,
really
neither
cool.
did
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
have their merchant services, or that they're locked in
Yeah.
for?
No, actually neither. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just thought Square was just to take credit cards and debit when you're not
Yeah.
home. You know what I mean? You do
Yeah.
a trade show, you use Square.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they had a whole different.
Right. So they've expanded to where they want to offer a point of sale solution for the people who are using their
Which makes sense.
services, right? But then, I mean, you're tied into Square, and
Right.
that could be really costly in the long run. I don't know exactly what the percentages that they take. If you're trying to grow a business and another merchant service is offering you a better deal, you won't be able to take it. So, I mean, that is probably Square's downfall.
So
Right.
so if I'm a small medium guy and I'm switching, because I think this is where I hear a lot of this is like the small medium guy, particularly folks that are invested into data or are trying to get data, they get really, I mean, one, they get nervous about switching because their data is all in one place. But there's also, they're all very wary of the demos, right? And so they have a lot of trouble trusting because they realize like there's just no way to tell.
Yeah.
Is there is there things that they should be asking or looking for to kind of help? It's probably, I don't know how you feel about this, Kenny. Like, I feel like this is like one of the single most biggest decisions that like small businesses make, and it could screw you up for
Yeah.
4 or 5 months, right? Like while you're
I
trying to
don't even
figure
think
out like,
it's not even that it's a big decision. It's something that most don't understand. I remember
yeah,
when we picked the system for the coffee bar.
yeah,
Luckily we have a 27-year-old partner that's the techie, kind of the Lia, except on our side.
yeah,
And he went through a few, and we finally ended up going with Touch Bistro. Now, was it good, bad, or indifferent, or something else? I didn't know because I didn't even know what to ask.
right,
And I think a lot of the small businesses, I can think of go even to the coffee bar. I've got a neighbor on one side that's food, another guy who's like a small grocer. And the small grocer is still using old school register, ringing things. They're not tracking anything outside of, $2.99 grocery, $2.99 not grocery,
yeah,
$2.99 tax, $2.99
yeah,
no tax. That's
yeah,
probably about as complicated as it gets. So you go in and talk to these guys.
yeah.
I think they'd be just looking at you thinking, what the hell are you asking of me? And why would I
Yeah,
drop what I have to do whatever you got? I don't even know what you're saying.
yeah,
I think the biggest issue that point of sale companies are facing right now is that the mom and pop shop owners are coming more or less from a generation that didn't grow up with technology. So the cloud for most of them scares them. They don't
Yeah.
understand the cloud. They don't understand, you know, that data lives up there and it's
yeah,
secure. It's, they
yeah,
want it in their little computer and that's it. And so that's the biggest challenges that these point of sales companies are having is they can't convince these people that this is the future.
Right.
In terms of questions that they would ask for point of sale solutions, if you're kind of just doing a pop-up, maybe, Phil and Kenny don't know what to ask for questions, but these companies who are looking to switch over generally come pretty equipped. They know what they're looking for, which is why they're making the change. They're not happy with their system. So they know how granular they need to get with their inventory. They know how granular they need to get with their reports. They know how important it is to have customer service and onboarding once you purchase the system, to have that support.
yeah,
One of the biggest factors that point of sale solutions sell their solutions is because they offer that 24/7 support and that onboarding service. So I mean, there are questions you could ask. I think inventory is the most important one. Most people are genuinely dealing with inventory, so purchasing from wholesalers, putting it in their computer at wholesale price and then selling it at retail. Yeah, that's definitely a question you want to ask. You want to know, how many levels deep can I get? How easy is it to manage the inventory? How easy is it to manage for multiple stores or for multiple channels? Those are questions to be asking. But when it gets down to the nitty gritty, the customer is going to know their business the best. So
how do you transfer between systems? Like, so say I'm on Vent and I realize, actually, this is a real life scenario. So one of the I'm sorry, everything for the audience, that everything's pet right now, but those are the guys I've been talking to. So yeah, but so one of the guys was they're on Ven, but they realized that Ven doesn't track expiry dates, which is a real thing, right? So they don't track lot numbers, they don't track expiry dates. These guys sell human grade, dog food, which all has lot numbers and expiry dates. And so they wanted to move to a new system, but they weren't sure, like, how do you, and it didn't seem like anybody could answer that for them, was like, how do you transfer data? Like, is this a raw downloaded, like, is that the old school way, like download it as an Excel file and then re-upload it to the new systems? Like, is that how that works? Or is there an API for that? Or how does that?
So generally, how that works is you kind of just download it through a CSV file and you're able to
Okay.
easily.
Okay.
Companies offer someone
Yeah.
on board. So they just,
Okay.
it's like download your system and we'll upload it for you. And so you're kind of good to go when you need the system up and running.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the transition, that's a winning point for point of sale solutions. It's in their best interest to make that transition easier, especially if they're trying to win other, company clients over.
Yeah.
So Lightspeed is a company that does that. I know for sure. I believe Revel does that as well, where they help you extract the information and put it in their system once you purchase the product.
Those are so the other thing, funny story, the very same vendor was telling me that I think the audience heard this already, but the disclaimer is like Lia doesn't work for Lightspeed anymore, so we're not plugging Lightspeed. But I did hear a lot, like, so this vendor actually told me that they were talking to somebody at Lightspeed, and they had all sorts of questions about could they do this, could they do that, and at one point I think the rep actually said, "Hang on a second, I'm just going to go ask the boss's sister who does the coding to see if she can just do that for us," which I've never.
Wow.
You know, I mean, like with startups, it happens, right? I mean, how about we're like that too? We're like, hang on a second, let me go find Ron or Dave and see if, see if I can do that. So if you're a Hubba user, like ask for Ron or or Charlie. Ask for Charlie. Sorry, Charlie.
Answer.
But yeah, so I thought that was kind of neat. I just thought like where Venda's really good with like search type stuff, and like you can, if you search anything POS, Vend comes up everywhere because they're winning the SEO stuff. But Lightspeed seems to be the one that is literally in the trenches, kind of like fighting hand to hand to try and win customers. So I thought it was
Lightspeed, I guess anybody who's in sales, like when it comes down to making a sale, you're gonna get the answer for the client. I mean,
yeah.
it's in their best interest and it's also in your best interest. So it's a win-win situation if you do have difficult questions for your reps to get you that information. 100%.
Nice. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for covering this. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you're off. So you're off to a new adventure. You're moving to Montreal.
That I am.
Yeah. And are you? Kenny, I feel like we're going to be working for Lia in a couple of years.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm too old.
No, you're not too old. You can drive her around. You can carry her bag. You know, I'll make her coffee. No, you make her coffee. I'll drive her around.
I can do the coffee.
You got the coffee bar, so you know.
You know what I'll do is I'll be the guy that comes in and tells people, "Don't worry, I've seen it work. It's all going to be okay." Because they'll believe me. They're not going to believe the 25-year-old, but they'll believe the 52-year-old. They'll say, that old guy can do it. Sure.
Eddie will be in my corner just to make sure.
100%. So what are you going to be doing in Montreal? I didn't hear the company you were going to.
So it's a company called Aptos, and they sell a suite of products to enterprise retail stores. So Nike, Under Armour, DKNY, and so on and so forth. And they have everything from sales audit to point of sale to CRM, and it's all seamless and they all integrate really well. And so the role is once they purchase the product from Aptos, I would then come in and I would talk to whoever it is, the executives, and ask them how they want the product to work for their company. So it's a lot of troubleshooting and figuring out and customizing it and making sure that it's up to their needs and standard and all that. And then once we get the way that they want, I would then fly out to wherever they're located and train them up on the product to make them comfortable using the new technology.
Kenny, you should be making her coffee. You're going to get to travel. I already called it driving, so I'll drive. So
hey, listen, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, right. You got yourself an entourage. It's all done. I like it.
These wannabes that want to just hang out, just to figure out what the hell she's doing. Because now she's gone into the big leagues. Now we're into enterprise. I mean, we're out of control now.
I know, it's all out of control. It's amazing.
I'm just trying to get a coffee bar to survive.
It'll be an exciting adventure. I'm excited to get started. It's hard for me to leave Toronto. It was a tough decision, but
Montreal's nice.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm from Montreal, so
Montreal's great.
You're not going to be there. You're going to be traveling all over.
You won't be there long anyway.
Won't be there that often, I hope.
You'll have to send us some postcards so we can tell listeners every week where you are.
Exactly. hopefully during winter. I was just getting used to this Toronto winter. I was like, this is winter.
This is no, this is better. You're gonna want to come back in the winter. Montreal is not.
It's not fun. It's not
Yeah,
fun.
You guys are both going to want to
stay
come
to
to
ski,
Vancouver.
right? Yeah,
Just come to Vancouver. It's a lot better winter than the two
that's
of
true.
yours.
Yeah,
true.
that's true. It's definitely warmer out there.
Who is? You need some enterprise customers in Vancouver.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
So, Leah, when you're talking, like, how big are these? You're talking big companies then now. Like, you've really gone from, you know, mom and pops on steroids to like really, this is big leagues, eh?
Yeah, so I mean, they obviously have some medium to large size companies. I don't know if anyone will know them, but like Love Culture was one of them.
Mhm.
But it is, they're looking at tier 1, tier 2, up tier 3 retailers. So
Wow.
you're working with the big guys, which is interesting. Honestly, it's what business school was about. This
Right.
role is why you go to business school.
Right.
So it'll be nice to put that into practice.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
pretty
big
cool.
guys. Lots of layers. Lots of.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of troubleshooting, a lot of late nights
Yeah.
up here, but that's what I love. I think it'll
Yeah.
be, solving a puzzle for them, which is the most exciting part.
Ah, you know what you'll like is you'll like the fact you have a lot of budget. You got tons of resources at your disposal. You'll learn a ton of stuff. You'll figure out that working for big companies isn't that fun. And eventually you'll go back to doing the small guys and you'll have a lot more fun.
Well, that's just it. I don't have to work for these big companies until, I only have to work for them until the project is done, and then I move on to
Right.
someone else. So it's never the same, which is what I think is going to be the most exciting.
Which would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
That'd
sure.
be really cool.
For
Yeah.
sure.
definitely.
Wow, good for you, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's
So
awesome.
exciting.
Wow.
No, that's really exciting. I'm really excited for you.
Yeah.
I am. I'm really excited to see where you go and yeah, where you travel to. Yeah. It's very cool. It's very cool. Yay. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. We'll have to catch up with you in a couple months. We'll give you, you got to get back into the swing of Montreal, but I'm dying to hear what you're doing on the big side. That is pretty sweet.
4 months of training, and then we'll do one of these, and I'll be like, all right, here's what enterprise is all about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by then, I might understand what you just left and see if I can get a little bit at the rate I'm going,
There we go.
I love it.
Cool.
I love it. Do you mind sharing some of your socials? Like, so if our listeners want to ask you questions, is that cool?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have
Do you have Twitter? You can leave your phone number if you like. You can.
Yeah.
What's your address going to be in Montreal?
It's only Phil and I that listen to the podcast. So don't worry about it.
Really, we want to know where we call you when we have questions.
No, absolutely. I mean, basically, I think you'd have to just Google Lia Ollo, LIAOLLO, and all my information will pop up. So look, LinkedIn /Lia.Ollo, Facebook /Lia.Ollo, Instagram Lia Ollo. I have a Twitter. I don't know how to get into it again, so
yeah.
No
so
Twitter.
don't tweet Lia.
Don't tweet to me, but you can Instagram me, Facebook
yeah.
me,
Facebook
me.
Yeah.
I'm available.
All right, that's the end of this Commerce Life. We'll be back soon with the next episode. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. Give us feedback. Tell us what you think. Subscribe, like us, join us, share us, tell your friends about us. And we hope to see you next time with more commerce news.